The other team that you were all at MCG to watch Carlton Collingwood on Friday night, they still remain the talk of the town, the Blues. What did you make of it, Brenny?
Yeah, really disappointing. Yeah, the start was pretty handy. They were in the game up until quarter time, and then after that, really disappointing. And the pressure dropped away, didn't it? Terribly. You know, you look at the second quarter numbers. So 2 of their 4 quarters were 2 of the 3 worst pressure quarters in the competition this season, happened in one game against your arch rival in front of 78,000 people at the G. So look at that, 144, 147, just unacceptable. You know, they were minus 14 tackles, and they only had 46 tackles, minus 18 contested possessions, 22-7 contested marks, really disappointing. 9 players with 1 or less tackles, so where was the hunger? Really disappointing it was.
Well, they got smashed in the third quarter, and the scoreboard got out of hand. And it was interesting to see the vision of Michael Voss pulling the leaders aside, Curnow, Cripps and Wiedering. And, yeah, a bit of a lip reader from way back. He's basically said, you know, our contest stuff is effing deplorable. It's effing deplorable. So when you go back to your lines and then you sort of miss the rest of it. So he's basically, he's not having a go at those blokes, although the leaders are a part of it and they are responsible for what happens on field, for finding an action that drives the rest of the group, that inspires the rest of the group. But he's having a conversation now. I'm going to talk to the whole team, but when you go back to your lines, you guys need to soul your players towards greater effort than what we saw in the last 30 minutes.
How important is it? I mean, we've been speaking about Carlton for a month now, and their actions haven't improved, and even on the weekend they were at their worst for the season. How important is it that, I mean, anyone that gets up and is interviewed, that they're interviewed with conviction? Because right now any player that's interviewed, it's just like, well, they're just trotting out the company lines and you can see straight through it and their actions. How hard is it to get the group back playing competitive football?
Well, as I said after the game, I feel like the genie's out of the bottle a little bit. It's pretty hard to put it back in. I think that it's an accumulation of decisions that are made, not just by Vossi, but by the club in general, the football department. And it might even be giving a player a soft ear at certain times when you're trying to force a home truth into the psyche, but then you get a soft ear somewhere. And then the lesson never really lands. And maybe that's happened over the last couple of years, and standards have sort of slipped in regards to
they get ahead of themselves after making that prelim final and going on that run in 23.
Potentially, there's been individuals that I thought their performances have been, up and down enough, and flaky enough at times, to be honest, in terms of contest, where they could have, received a penalty in terms of selection. But there hasn't been a lot of those big selection calls that have come, and we don't know what the cost that you pay down the line is from not acting on those. And only the internal environment could really speak to that.
And Brandy, one man that's probably epitomising the effort at the moment, what we're seeing, is Tom de Koning. What's your take on what you're seeing from the big...
Well, really disappointing. To me, watching his actions the other night, looked like a man that's checked out and signed up, signed up with another club.
Well, here's one. How can you play him after efforts like this? Right?
Well, it's really disappointing, absolutely. So there may be a standard set. Like Tom de Koning had a really good start to the year. He's dropped away. But these efforts are unacceptable. Now, it's not about trying to play for Vossi and keep his job. It's your own personal pride. It's pride in the jumper, playing for your teammates, but just getting out there and having a crack. And at the end of the day, no matter what's going on, as far as his contract situation, he has got games to play at the Carlton Football Club, and he needs to bring 100%, and that is not bringing 100%.
But Bucks, if Vossi's coaching for his future and he's got a player that probably, like Brandy says, is checked out and not playing, can you have the conversation with him and say, are you in, or do you not want out? Can you have that?
Absolutely you can, but so what? You make the decision now? The players' locker room knows exactly what goes on, and they know when a player has picked and chosen with his work rate and with his contest. Every locker room knows that. So if there's no censure or no challenge from the coaching group, then that becomes an accepted part of what we do. And then you just keep going down the line, But on Adelaide at the end of last year, Josh Richelli, the call made on him seemingly meant nothing. But it set a standard for him, and it executed one to educate 1,000 on expectations on the way that we want to go about it, at the very least.
So you played for a ruthless team. Ruth, what would you be doing as a teammate in this situation with some of the players at the Carlton Footy Club?
Yeah, it would be I think it's a tough conversation because these are players that are leaders of this football club. I would see De Koning as a leader. He's been there for a long time. He's a big lad. He's got a lot of say in how the team operates. So if they're not doing it, there is no way that you can try and educate or keep the young kids accountable. So that is the bit that's missing.
The one thing I would add to that is this isn't just a coaching issue. Like, the player leaders, and we've all been involved in good locker rooms and ones that haven't worked so well. But the player leaders have walked past this as well. They could walk into the coach and say, we don't trust this bloke the way he goes. He doesn't work hard enough. We're not trust that he's going to cover when he should cover. Not trust he's going to go when he should go. Player leaders can do that, and coaches appreciate that stuff. And then it's up to the coach to go, yep, I'm with you on that. We'll let him go. And we'll give him, and we'll follow up with him, give him a couple of weeks in the twos and see if he can earn our trust back to come, or you earn your trust back to go and play. So the player leaders are as accountable as anyone.
And Brandy, leadership sometimes more than just effort. It's also seizing the moment when you are one of the highly paid big leaders of the football club. And Charlie Curnow, you've seen some things.
Oh, absolutely. It's just so disappointing, Charlie, with the kicking technique, the way he goes about when he has big shots. And run towards the fire, Charlie. That would be my advice. Not running away from the fire. When he plays on and rolls around like this, that's running away from the fire for me. Early in the third quarter, they needed a lift. Now, every key forward worth his salt can kick 50 metres, especially with the stand rule these days. Goes and plays on. He's unloading the pressure. He's not the only forward that does it in the competition, the only key forward, but that is a time when a leader needs to embrace the moment, go back, spend your 30 seconds, at the very least allow your team to set up behind the ball, feel uncomfortable for that 30 seconds, but realise, hey, I've got to suck this up, I've got to embrace it, show some resolve and go back and kick the goal for my team. And Charlie too often rolls around and plays on like that, and I think part of the reason he's trying to offload the pressure. So that's really disappointing. That's, to me, not showing the resolve that's required.
You hate that as a midfielder. You really do. It's
you've done the hard work.
It's the one chance you actually get to have a rest.
Yeah.
And then you look up, you have a conversation with the other mids, and you look up and you go, oh, now we've got to go again. It just zaps the energy. I think you're right.
Mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really
I think
knocks
back
them
to you,
in.
mate. You like a bit of me time, take the 30 seconds.
Well, that's a bit of me time.
Eyes on
exactly.
me,
Ball
and
down,
then
socks up,
and then
chest
he'd
out.
finish off.
But you can't tell me, Charlie Curnow, with the way the stand rule is, he's kicking from 51 there.
Yeah.
Come out after half time, fresh as a daisy. Go back and just kick the goal. Take your full 30 seconds. But that's a leader. That's embracing the moment. And that's why Charlie has been criticised the last 18 months of footy. Bucks, you were strong on it the other night, and you're spot on. He hasn't performed when it's counted in the last 18 months.
I'll tell you what, that game on Friday night, I don't know whether you two felt it. It was a tense crowd.
Yeah,
I can't remember a game that wasn't a final that was tense.
Yeah.
And you could feel it in the air.